Hello, my name is Philip and this is for Phrasal Verbs. If you're new to my channel, welcome. In this video, I'm going to be talking about 4 phrasal verbs that can be used with food. Over here, you can see the contents of this video. You'll see the start times of each section, so if you want to jump to a particular section, you can do so. Down the bottom in the progress bar are YouTube section dividers, and in the text description, there are also quick jump links to get started. The phrasal verbs that I'll be talking about today are cut out, cut down on, eat out, and live on. So, let's get started. Cut out. Cut out means to remove completely. Now, as you know, this video is about phrasal verbs that can be used with food, but cut out can be used in a non-food context and still have the same meanings. So, cut out sugar, cut out chocolate. This means to remove chocolate or sugar completely from your diet. Cut out is separable. You can cut chocolate out or cut sugar out, cut pizza out, which is like a terrible thought, but okay, sometimes you have to do what's right for your body. So this means to remove completely in the context of food. Outside of the context of food, maybe you know somebody who you consider toxic or has negative energy, and you might say, I'm going to cut Philip out of my life, meaning I'm no longer going to have opportunities where I spend time with Philip. And it's the same idea of removing completely. The first few examples were about food. The second one was about a person, but it could be other things as well. Remember, I'll be giving real world examples a little bit later in the video. Cut down on is similar to cut out, but instead of meaning remove completely, this means reduce. So using the same examples, I'm going to cut down on sugar. I'm going to cut down on chocolate. I'm going to reduce the amount of chocolate or sugar that I eat. This phrasal verb is inseparable. You cannot separate it. You cannot say I'm going to cut chocolate down on. You cannot do that. Cut down on must be together. Again, you might use it in outside of food context, but nearly always it would be used in food context. Eat out. Eat out means purchasing and consuming food outside of your house. Now, this is an inseparable one. You wouldn't say, I'm going to eat tonight out. You would have to say, I'm going to eat out tonight. If you made food at home, maybe a pasta salad or a baguette, I'm getting hungry now, but if you made the food at home and you took it outside and you ate it, we wouldn't really call this eating out. When we use the phrasal verb eat out, we normally mean to purchase the food and consume it outside. It could be in a restaurant. It could be in a food truck, which seem very popular nowadays, or it could be in some kind of takeaway. You go somewhere, you purchase it, and then you eat it, either on the premises, in the case of a restaurant, or in the park, or somewhere that's convenient for you. Live on. Now, this means that the majority of your food that you eat is one thing. For example, it seems that a lot of university people are saying that they live on ramen. Now, you cannot separate live on. It's an inseparable verb. You cannot say, I live ramen on. You live on ramen. Now, when I was a teenager, it was very typical in London to live on chips, fried potatoes. Now, it doesn't mean that that's all I ate. It just means the majority of the food that I ate, or at least a significant amount of food, was chips. Be careful though, because live on is also a verb with a preposition. For example, I live on an island. I live on the 5th floor. Now in this case, it's not a phrasal verb, just a verb with a preposition. All of the real world examples are from Twitter. I'm going to be making them full screen so that you can see them better. So here are the real world examples. And in this first one from Jack the Pumpkin King, you can see that this person says, been trying to intake less, which you now know means to cut down on, but then also cut out sugar. So this person is either trying to reduce the amount of sugar or completely remove it from their diet. And then she says, doing pretty well with it, to be honest, TBH. And that, to be honest, is a way of expressing surprise that it's going as well as it is. Now the next one is, health nuts, I've decided to cut red meat entirely out of my diet. Now, when somebody uses the word nuts, what they're saying is that this is a person who's either obsessed or very focused on something. So this tweet is addressed to people who are very interested in health. And you'll notice that the object, red meat, is in the middle of the phrasal verb. Now, entirely is not needed here because cut out already means completely. But it's not wrong, it's just emphasizing it. And that one was from Jeremy Rojas Du. Right, the next one, cut down, is every time a new food business opens, it's the same damn thing. I want to support, but I'm trying to cut down on the carbs, please. So this person is saying, I'm trying to reduce the amount of carbs, but then a new food business opens and I feel that I really want to support that business, so I go and eat there, and it's not good for their health. That's what this person's saying. Now, next one, I want to change my eating habits. I'll substitute the pap with veggies and cut down on meat. Okay, now I don't know what pap means in this context from Man Kossi, but it's maybe just a reference to something that this person eats, that maybe it's short for papaya or something, I don't know. But clearly the part we're interested in is the cut down on meat. Now the next example is not about food. How energy efficient is your smart home? Smart devices can actually cut down on your electricity bill, meaning can reduce your electricity bill. Okay. £19? What a rip-off. I eat out regularly here in Braunton. Top quality food and more of it, $7.95. Now, a rip-off is something that is overpriced or not very good value, and generally a lot of money at the same time. And this person's saying, I eat out regularly, meaning I go to restaurants. The next one is, this is a political tweet, and this person is complaining about what Boris Johnson said, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And in August, he said, eat out to help out, which was a phrase they were promoting, trying to get people to go out to restaurants and eat. And to help out was to help the industry, because the industry was suffering because all of the restaurants were closed. And then the rest of the tweet is comparing what he said. All right, the last one, live on. A human could not live on chips and salsa alone, is something no one ever said. So Patented Phil here is saying that eating chips and salsa is really nice, and he could easily see himself, imagine himself just eating these things. So that's that one. And then the last one from James is could live on crisps and chips. Now crisps could be a spelling mistake, a typo where you press the keys in the wrong order, or it could mean something specific, a little bit like pap. Sometimes with tweets, there's a reference that you won't know because you don't know the person or because you don't know the culture that they're from. So this could be crisps and chips. So this person could be British and talking about just eating potatoes in different forms, or it could be something else. So there we go. Those were the real world examples. Remember, the comment homework is completely optional, but the more you practice using these phrasal verbs, the faster and better you'll get at being able to use them in real-world situations. Now, for this particular video, I'm going to introduce an adjective. It may be new, or maybe you've heard of it before. The word is delectable. Delectable means something that's very pleasant or delicious, and it's perfect for using when talking about food. So the first comment homework is to write a short paragraph using each of the phrasal verbs. Now, you could just write one sentence, but writing a paragraph helps conceptualize and put the real idea into something greater than a simple sentence. Ideally, you should use something that happened to you recently because, again, that makes it feel more real. But you can invent situations if you want to. The second phrasal verb is to translate the phrasal verb or the concept of the phrasal verb into your native language. Remember, I probably won't be able to check if you've done a good job, but hopefully other commenters can help you if need be. And the third and last comment homework is if you see any of these phrasal verbs being used in your daily usage on the TV, on the internet, then make a note of that. Write in the comments where you saw it. You can go looking for them if you want to, and that's fine, but I'm hoping that you're using your English quite a lot, and maybe you hear one of these phrasal verbs. This is a subscription button. If and only if you think my content is useful, please consider subscribing and maybe even give this video a thumbs up. This is a basic introduction to phrasal verbs, and this is another video about 4 phrasal verbs. Remember, do something every single day to improve your English. See ya.